Since 1979 you got way better at your job, like 65% more productive. You make more value per hour than any generation in history. So your pay went up 65% too, right? No. Typical pay rose about 17% in that same time. Productivity grew roughly 3.5 times faster than your paycheck. So you produced a literal mountain of extra wealth, and somebody else strolled off with most of it. The question is who, and the honest answer is way more interesting than the angry one. Let's follow the money. There's a promise baked into the whole idea of work. Get more productive, get paid more. And for decades it was literally true. You can see it in the data. Then around 1980 the deal quietly changed. And because it changed slow, nobody sent the memo. So you inherited a world where you work harder, smarter, with better tools than anyone ever, and you still feel like you're sprinting on a treadmill. That feeling isn't you being weak or bad with money. It's a measurable gap between what you produce and what you're paid, and economists have spent years throwing hands over where that money went. Let me show you the data, then the actual fight. Not vibes. These come from the Bureau of Labor Statistics productivity data and decades of Economic Policy Institute research, and I'll give you the counterargument from Harvard and the National Bureau of Economic Research too. Because honest has two sides. Let's go. Start with the era that delivered. From 1948 to 1973, the post-war boom, two lines moved together almost perfectly: how much workers produced per hour and how much they got paid. Two economists, Mishel and Bivens, documented it. Productivity roughly doubled, and typical pay roughly doubled right beside it. That's what a working bargain looks like. The economy got more efficient and regular people got richer at the same rate. One factory income could buy a house, raise a family, retire, because rising productivity actually showed up in the paycheck. That was the deal. And then it broke. Around the late 70s, the two lines tore apart, and they've been drifting ever since. Productivity kept climbing. Pay flattened. By the EPI's measure, since 1979 net productivity grew about 65%, while typical pay grew only about 17%. That gap, productivity racing ahead while pay crawls, is one of the most important charts in modern economics. And notice who it's for. The typical worker, the median. Because the economy as a whole did get richer, the output is real, the wealth got made. It just stopped flowing to the middle. So where'd it go? Cue the brawl. First answer, the EPIs, is that the missing pay didn't vanish, it got captured. Bivens and Mishel chopped the gap into pieces and find that since 2000, roughly 80% of it comes from two kinds of inequality. 1. A falling labor share, a shrinking slice of each dollar going to workers, a growing slice to owners of capital. Economists Karabarbunis and Neiman showed this is happening globally in a 2014 paper. 2. Inequality among workers, the gains that did reach labor flowed mostly to the very top, executives, finance, not the median worker. The poster child, CEO pay. In 1965, top CEOs made about 20 times the typical worker. Today, over 300 times. The wealth got produced. It just got routed straight up. Now, if I stopped there, I'd be handing you the clean, angry story. But there's a serious challenge to it, and honest includes it. In 2020, two Harvard economists, Anna Stansbury and Lawrence Summers, yes, that Larry Summers, wrote a paper for the NBER called Productivity and Pay. Is the link broken? And their answer was basically, nah, it isn't. They found that when productivity does rise, typical wages still respond and rise with it. The underlying link is alive. Their point: if the link were truly severed, pay would ignore productivity completely, and it doesn't. So the divergence, they argue, isn't a broken machine, it's that other forces are shoving pay down at the same time. Dying worker bargaining power, automation, globalization, the collapse of unions. The wealth isn't escaping a broken pipe. It's being held down by a heavier hand on the other side. Here's what matters. Both camps agree the gap is real and huge. They're fighting about the mechanism, not the fact. And honestly, the two stories rhyme: captured or bargaining power crushed. The lived result is identical. You produce more, you don't get it. Strip out the academic cage match and here's what it means for your life. The single most reliable way to get rich, be more productive and get paid for it, has been partly unplugged for 40 years, so grinding harder is fighting a current. The move isn't work harder, because you already are and the chart proves it doesn't fully pay. The move is to get on the winning side of the split, the capital side. The gap exists because owners of capital captured the gains. The durable answer is to slowly become an owner, however small, so you collect on the side that's been pulling ahead. You can't fix the labor share of the whole economy by yourself. You can move yourself dollar by dollar from the side that only sells labor to the side that also owns output. So, you got about 65% more productive and your pay rose about 17, and the missing wealth didn't poof out of existence. One camp says it got captured by capital and the top. The other says worker power got crushed so the gains never reached you. The one idea, the link between your effort and your reward, got weaker in the open, so don't just sell your work, own a piece of the output. If this put a number on a feeling you've had for years, subscribe. Honest version, both sides, real papers. See you next one.